Hi team. Today we are going to cover what is the library and how many types of libraries. What is pre-assigned library? What is permanent library and temporary library? So I will start this topic today. Uh,
Like a default libraries కదా
uh,
పర్మనెంట్ లైన్స్ అంటే డిఫాల్ట్
no,
లైబ్రరీస్ క్లాస్ లో
temporary. Yeah, in SAS actually there are some default libraries available. Whenever user account created, some SAS user, SAS help,
ఎస్
and work library,
క్లాస్
SAS
మ్యాప్స్
maps. It's like that. But each library has those are system libraries. Okay, those are automatically created. But whenever user created, that is a project specific library. Okay, permanent library. So mm, these are the main library types. Okay, uh, permanent library is a library whenever user or system whenever user creates library, and they will store all the files until unless user removes the data or SAS data. The the files will never remove from this permanent library. Library is nothing but a it is one type of uh, collection of SAS files. Library is nothing but a collection of SAS files. SAS file nothing but it's a data set or catalogs or information map studios, whichever the application uh, saves, creates some extension with .sas or .sas7b dat, like that, which whatever it is, but to store those all the files, to organize them, we need libraries. In SAS environment, to organize the files, user files or user data, we need libraries. Okay, libraries are three types. These are the main types. Okay, permanent library, temporary library, and pre-assigned library. Permanent library is nothing but it is a collection of SAS files which will be not removed until unless user or admin removes the data. Temporary library is one library that once SAS session gets closed or SAS session gets ended, all the files whichever store in this temporary library will be removed automatically without any intervention. So that's why we call it as a temporary library. Temporary library also we don't create. There is a work library already available in the system. Even though if we don't assign any library to the to by creating SAS data set or SAS file, the work library will be assigned automatically. Okay, pre-assigned library. Pre-assigned library is nothing but a library which has more capabilities for developer perspective. It is also permanent. It is comes as a permanent library capabilities, and it has some extension capabilities that SAS user can access the data very less time compared to permanent library. And also, while migrating, it is very easy to migrate pre-assigned libraries. This is pre-assigned library is nothing but a in-memory kind of thing. So we don't need to load the data 100% to the system, and again we will run the programs. Not like that. Pre-assigned libraries are always available. We don't need to load them again and again. So that's why user prefer to create pre-assigned library. But creating most of the pre-assigned libraries will also cause the platform slowness. Why? Because most of the users consume most of the memory, most of the files, libraries consume most of the memory. So that's why we request users to follow the best practices as to create the permanent library. Okay, now library, we will discuss about library. Library is a collection of one or more SAS files that are organized by SAS and can be referenced as stored as a unit. So library can store as a unit like hundreds or thousands of files, and it is very easy to organize all the files. Okay, and each file is a member of the library. So SAS libraries help to organize the user work. These are help to organize the work. Work means the file systems, files which are created by the user. Those can be organized very easily using libraries. Organizing files in libraries makes it easier to locate the files and reference them in a program. So it is easy to locate the physical location and reference in a uh, SAS programs. So understanding most operating system, like in operating systems, we have folder. Why we need folder is, folder is not a file itself. Okay, it consists of number of subfolders, at the same time number of files. Okay, but in SAS, in folder, that is in Linux or Unix, sorry, Windows, we create folders to manage the SAS, sorry, files, any file, text file, Excel file, PPT file, any file. We create folder based on the type of the file. Like that, SAS also supporting one library. In SAS, we are naming it as a library. Why we are naming it as a library is, the naming convention is different compared to other platforms. So here, library, it stores all type of data, SAS data. You remember SAS data. So each user can create their own library and they can manage, store some their own data. So now, directive based operating systems, SAS library is a group of SAS files in the same directory. So the directory might contain other files, but SAS files are part of SAS library. So here only SAS files can contain here. And also, once we create the library, we can create the contents like SAS files in it, but we cannot create sub libraries in the one library. Only we can create one library and we can store some files in it. We can't create sub files in that, sub libraries in that. Okay, so these are some SAS files, file types. Some SAS data set. Data set is nothing but a table. So stored, compiled program. So SAS utility file. Utility file is a SAS generated file, system generated file. So multi-dimensional files, like these are the RDBMS and DBMS data files. Even data files, DBMS files also, it will store in library. Okay, item store files. So these are the different files types, or files which SAS will generate, or SAS platform uses. So next, each library, each library is associated with one library engine. Library engine is a software interface. Library engine is an interface that establish the connection between SAS platform and the SAS library. Okay, SAS platform and SAS library. So these are different engines, like meta engine, and native SAS engine. Native SAS engine. There are other SAS base engine. So the different library engines, it will associated for each library. While creating itself, we need to select one library engine. So based on that, the library will work. It is the library engine that locate files in a library and renders that file contents to SAS in the form of, in the form to that it can organize. So library engine can perform all these tasks. Okay, library, whenever we are writing or reading data in the library, so library engine only can do these tasks. Okay, listing all the files in the library and deleting and renaming the files. So library engine is the interface that takes responsibility to make changes to the library, like creating, writing, reading, listing, and deleting, renaming, everything. So this is the library engine. Okay. Uh, Now library names. Library, each library has two names. One is a physical name, one is a logical name. Physical name is nothing but a path, physical path in the server where the directory, or where the real files exist. Logical name is a library reference. That is just a reference name. that we can assign that reference name to the physical value, physical location in the libname statement or libname function, so that in programs referencing, like mentioning the physical path, like physical path is having very huge line, like very huge line, so mentioning that everywhere it is difficult. So that's why we assign one library reference to the library reference to the library, or after that we will use the lib reference again and again. So that is also library reference. Also we call it as a lib reference, sorry, logical name. That is a logical name is nothing but a, it is not the physical value, it is a relative path. It is a relative path of the uh, library. So this is about library names. It is having physical name, that is a physical value where the library data is exist. Logical name, it is a reference of the physical value. So now we will understand how we will create the library, how we will create the library using libname statement. So to create the library, we will use following command. Like here, I am assigning the lib reference to this path. So this is the directory. This directory, I am assigning this directory. This is the path where Unix system can understand this path. So I am assigning this path to the library. So this is a library. My lib reference is a library. I am assigning this library to this one. This one is understanding by SAS platform. So SAS platform understand this lib reference, and this is the physical value where the Unix system store the real data. Okay. So the most common way, like here, to even we can assign like SAS libraries this way, and we can also sometimes we need to clear all the physical values for this library. Then also we will use this clear statement to clear all the lib references. Lib references is nothing but physical value. Physical value, we can clear all the physical values. So libname is a statement here, like keyword to create the any library in the platform. And here my lib reference is a library name, or the reference value. This is a reference value. This is you can mention the folder. This is the folder name in the SAS. This is the folder name in the Unix operating system. So this is the folder name in the Windows. So this is a one folder. I am assigning this one folder to this library. This library I am calling as a lib reference, or the value, the library which SAS platform can understand. Okay. So under this library, I can create multiple values, like multiple files I can store under this library. Okay. You have any doubt? You can stop and ask me. This is very important. So you can understand here. Okay. This is a libname statement. I am creating one library, and I am assigning that library to uh, one value, one path, physical path using this lib reference. So the library name is I'm assigning this library to this path. Without assigning library to any value, we can't create. Okay. Even though if it is already assigned to some other library, we can't assign this same library to other library. So here you need to understand this is one statement that this is a one folder in the real value. This is also one folder for the Unix operating system. This is one folder for the SAS platform. So that is about libraries. This is a permanent library I am creating. Okay, this is a permanent library. Even though we can convert this permanent library to pre-assigned library, I will also discuss that. Okay. So Now we will check what are the system libraries. Once user is created, what are the system libraries available by default? SAS automatically assigns two libraries for each time whenever we start SAS session. Okay, SAS help and work library. SAS help and work library automatically assigns whenever we start a session. How we can start a session is we can, while connecting to SAS app, whenever you establish connection with SAS app, then the session will start. Okay, see here, SAS help is a permanent library. It contains sample data that all the we create. It just creates sample data. This also just read only library. We can read that. We can't create anything to the SAS help. Okay, you can't save content to the this directory. Okay, this is a just we whatever contains sample data that we can use, like we can use by default for any program. Like suppose we are creating one sample code or something, we can use SAS help data. So SAS work. SAS work is a, we already discussed. This is a permanent temporary library. This is a by default temporary library available in the SAS platform. Even though if we don't create temporary library, it will automatically available in the SAS platform. So SAS, it whenever we don't assign any library to the SAS file, work library is automatically assigned. Work library for files that do not needed to be saved. Okay, files in this library are deleted whenever we close the SAS session. All datasets have two level names. First name is a lib reference, which tells SAS which library contains the table. So here you need to understand work dot dataset. Here dataset is a table name. So I am creating dataset 1 in work library, or I can create before one library lib name my library. My library I am creating. So to assign some values to this library, some data sets to library, I need to use like this while creating data set. So data step, while doing data step, data my library like that. Next I need to give in file values, and I need to give the rows and columns. Then the data set 1 is stored in this library. This is a library name, and this is a dataset name. Like that we can create up to n number of files, in the library. So this way we can assign some contents to the libraries in the SAS environment, and this is a permanent library. But if we don't specify here anything, it will automatically created in the work library. So once we close the session, it will automatically remove everything. So this is about the library, how we will assign the values. Next, the system libraries. There are some special system library automatically available in the system once we create the SAS, right? While installation itself, the SAS will provide some system libraries. So the work library is a temporary library available, SAS help and SAS user. So SAS user contains all the values, that is a sample data. SAS help contains all the system related information. So we will also discuss each library in detail. SAS help library. So each SAS site receives SAS help library, which contains group of catalogs and other files containing information that controls various aspects of SAS session. So the default stored in this library for everyone using SAS at our installation. So the hello,
Ah,
hello, Prem.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah, Anil.
You join now.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, okay, sure, sure. Okay. Yeah, we just discussed about the how we will assign the libraries data, how we assign data to libraries and these things. Okay, we are discussing about now system libraries. Okay, these are the default libraries available in the SAS. Okay, see here, SAS help library is having some site information. So the which contains group of catalogs and all other files which containing information about the deployment. So the SAS next SAS user library. This library contains SAS catalog that enables the features that uh, we want to create new options in the SAS applications. So whenever we want to modify some personalized SAS Studio or SAS EG or any SAS application. To modify anything, we need to use SAS library settings, SAS user library settings. So we can modify the personalized default, like the size. So in SAS Enterprise Guide, to change the size of the font by default font. I am talking about default font and the default the options which we can enable. So these everything we can opt, we can personalize, like we can modify in the SAS user library. Okay. Uh, this is a system libraries that is automatically available in the system once we install the SAS. Next, temporary library. Temporary library is a work library. Okay, work library by default you need to remember. Temporary library, we don't create any temporary library. First thing, the already one library only present, that is a work library available in the platform, SAS platform. Whenever we are not assigning, user not assigning any library to the data set, that will be stored in the work library. So the work library is contains the temporary files. It will be removed automatically whenever SAS session will be closed. So once SAS session is closed, automatically all data in the work library is removed. So this is called temporary library. Temporary files are that those we create and we created internally as part of normal processing. Typically, SAS work library is deleted at the end of each session in the terminates normally. So this is the only one library that is a temporary library, is a work library. Okay. Now this is very important. Pre-assign library. Pre-assigning, we can also pre-assign libraries. Even permanent libraries also we can pre-assign them. Pre-assign them. So why we pre-assign them? Pre-assigning libraries in SAS can be having number of benefits. For that only user interested to create pre-assigned libraries. What are the benefits are? So the consistency. Pre-assigned libraries are always available for the workspace server. So to execute the programs, whatever the data available in the library, pre-assigned library, it is very easy to access. The consistency is very high. So next, availability of the pre-assigned libraries like very high, like availability purpose and even the migration. So whenever user is migrating from data from dev to test and test to prod, right? They will automatically do for each every time they will do promotion. Once the development is done, they will do for testing. Testing is done, they will put it in the production. Like that, for migration purpose also, libraries, pre-assigned libraries are easier to migrate for new storage. So for this number of purposes, user interested to create the pre-assigned library. Now we will discuss how we will create pre-assigned library. So pre-assigned library can be created using two ways. One is flag library as a pre-assigned in SAS management console. So in data library manager, there is a in SMC SAS management console. We have one plugin that is a data library manager. This library manager manages all the libraries. Okay. Once we right click on this library manager plugin in the SMC, we have the libraries and library name. So once we click on the libraries, it will open the dialog box. So it will show all the libraries. So even though we can click on the existing library as well. If you click on existing library, right click. Once we click on the properties of the existing library, it will open this dialog box. So here there are these are the options available in the general and assigned options, notes, everything. So now we need to select options value, where here if you see, once you click on advanced options, if you see the library is pre-assigned. If you click if you select this check mark, it is a pre-assigned library. By which engine? I told you, right? I have already mentioned each library has one engine. Yeah, we are starting that library engine. So by while creating or while assigning pre-assigned library, we need to select the engine for that library. So the engine itself will communicate with the SAS platform and SAS library. So the engine only the responsible to writing or reading or any changes to the library. So to add some contents to the library, so library engine only the responsible. That's why we have different engine, like three types of engines available, like native library engine and metadata library engine by external configuration. So metadata library engine or native library engine, we are selecting the native library engine. So here, once we click on the dialog box, click assign tab on the library properties. So here, once we have done that, we need to click on the assign tab. Assign tab has different properties, that what servers we need to select. So the selected SAS app server and already selected share server. So now I am selecting SAS meta server as well. SAS servers where the library is assigned. So whatever the servers we select here, all the servers got assigned. Okay, libraries will be assigned. Next, so we have assigned this library as a pre-assigned in SAS management console. Once we have done that, we will also edit the configuration file. Which configuration file we need to edit is user modes configuration file. User modes configuration file or auto.exe file. By editing these two configuration, we can assign that to pre-assigned library. So library was flagged as a pre-assigned. You can also select it which servers can be retrieve the library definitions from the metadata. So we have done that in the previous first section. Now here we are editing SAS user modes configuration file. SAS V9 is a version 9 user modes configuration file. This is very important. So we can modify some contents here, so that the default options will be changed. We can customize this file to make the some preferences, user preferences. So here only, this is a one pre-assigned library is a user preference. So that's why we are using this configuration file to update here. So once we have updating some same servers where that previous stage, we will use meta auto resources SAS system option. This option is used. So this is the option meta auto resources. So the previous stage and add the meta resources system option. This option is used so that the servers read the library definitions from the metadata when they start. So this is the option we will update in the configuration file. This is the configuration file we will update. Okay, where this one is available is in every server, it will be available, like compute, mid-tier and metadata. So to edit the configuration file, we will perform these steps. Like once we navigate to that particular the configuration file, we will use like some commands more, or VI is the best tool that editing that. So here meta auto resources, this is the option we are updating SAS app. SAS app is by default. So we are updating meta resources in this file, so that automatically it will read the library definitions from the server. So this way we can assign pre-assigned libraries. So this is about the topic about all the libraries and library types.